Again, GLHF. And the last chance for LNC to take a game out of the semifinals and stay in the match and have a chance at reaching the grand finals. Otherwise, JSS will take this 3-0. This is JSS home map. And right now we see Temista Greco as the first to have a look at. He's right now going for Storehouse right next to these trees, which is kinda unorthodox. You don't really see that often. The standard start on water for Zeus, especially when you have this close trees, is that you're going to go without it. But otherwise, he's going for the picks. So he seems to be having a good starting build order in his mind. His dog is at a pretty decent position, it seems, almost at the top of the promontory, and he already has a triple here. So that seems to be pretty sweet for him. Moving on to another JSS, and that's right now Chef in the pocket. He's doing the standard Zeus start as I said, going for the wood next to his TCs and the pigs. How is it for his spot here? He doesn't see fish yet, but the dog placement seems to be kinda decent. So let's wait a moment here to see if he actually discovers something right next to his dog, and he doesn't, so he will have to go fishing for the fish. The third one for JSS is Count from Count, and he is doing similar thing to Temista, basically the same as him. And on the water, well, he could have went a bit further, as this time he is in the cove, and that's probably the worst placement of the JSS right now, as he has just this 3 spot here, and he will have to go most probably a long way to the back. Moving on LNC, I'm on Fire is the first, who's having a pretty decent spot for his dog with 3 spot right there. And well, really here, and he is gathering from the chickens and building first manor as well. He's not really constrained by any granary or some such, so he can do what he wants as an Eti. And same goes for Velite. He's also gathering from the chickens. On the chickens and also it's pretty much mirrored placement from Count for Count, also not anything great, also in a cove, just a 3 spot here, and most probably will have a long way to go into the middle. So let's see how lucky he actually is once he builds this extra fishing boats. And last one to have a look at is Baby JJ as a Kronos, also gathering where he wants, as is kinda usual, and his placement is kinda okay. Yeah, it's almost the promontory, so it's pretty okay placement. 3 spot here, just discovered by Valite to help him out, and 3 spot right next to his dog. So he's pretty much safe there. Temista seems to be having a pretty sweet map. 2-3 spots very close. Second, or rather twice the 1 spot here. But the dog placement is not really great, because you can see that Chef is really interested in those left fish, because otherwise they would be in Temista's power, but right now he has to concede them to Chef, who is having a hard time finding anything reasonable here, because Count of his bad dog placement is having to kind of steal those, and will have a long way to go here. So it looks like JSS kinda made the situation a bit difficult for themselves by themselves. And on the other side, Valite is having also very long way to go with his ships. So it's pretty much all the same for both teams. And the advances should be kinda normal for the gods they play. Some aggressive scouting here for Count von Count, who is already with his scout behind purple and is going into here. Probably will go into dock this guy somewhere for some underworld passage into the back. And you can see that blue one from Chef is converging on the same position as the teal one. So they will have a pretty good lay of the land of what is happening here. Same could be said though for the baby JJ, who is just now transporting here with the temple with some pretty decent advance time it seems, and yellow is here as well. So that's going to be pretty good. And how it is with the advances? 40% for Valite, 50% for Baby JJ, and 30% for I'm on Fire. Is he going for some attack? Well, just gathering those oracles for the Valor. And what's this relic? Better building crush armor. Well, nothing all that awesome, but this is really important right there. And I'm actually thinking that green is not really seeing it all that much. Is he at least advanced in Temista? He actually is, 430. And that's something those LNC guys were encountering with, because he is actually the first into classical. And well, good luck with rush on someone who is faster into classical than you are. But yep, here it is. 3 docks from Temista to build a pretty nice defensible position. And well, will he survive? But he is being raided here. And Temista just calling the ceasefire here to just protect this release, and he wants to do this because he doesn't want to lose the woodgear in time, because he wants to keep pushing those ships out and destroy his enemies as soon as possible. So that's yellow here, just with those oracles, and baby JJ is pretty much the only one here. So are they doing something else? Right now it seems like I'm on fire is just sending Promethean here, not really building any units, and waiting with his oracles. Possibly hoping to get back at those villies. But on the water, how's it looking? A lot of ships from teal, I would say. Decent amount from our fire as well. Yellow is kinda having the least amount, but he is kinda having 2 fleets right now. Decent amount from red, and Temista is playing the smart play and sending Pegasi to draw the arrow fire from the ships to help him in his battles. And together with Chef, they are hoping to kill both of those enemies. How many JSS advanced for restoration? The rest. So Temista was the only one who was going for the ceasefire. Right now they have to retreat. Those Pegasi are not working as well as Temista probably hoped, because quite simply, Velite and Baby JJ are too skilled to let their play be destroyed by that, and they are just right now using their ships to help them in the water and at the same time on the land. You can see that Blue is helping with his heroes and the Minotaur against the incoming onslaught from Baby JJ, who has already transported military barracks. So the army will be popping in, and we see first restoration cast here in the at the water, where JSS were in a tough situation, and well, this shockwave definitely not going to help. As you can see, yellow has a whole lot of ships here, and at the same time it seems like Count is losing his water at the right, because he just calls his restoration, and looking at the minimap there's a whole lot of purple there. Right now LNC are doing a pretty decent job at the water, but still they are not winning, and that's solely because the Greek ships are simply stronger. So even though LNC ships are fast at maneuvering, they are not doing any maneuvering, so they are just being killed by the sheer power of those green and blue ships. So let's have a look how is it looking at the right here. For Count, who was forced to retreat as far as Temista, the teammate on the other side of his map, and Amofire is doing actually pretty well against him. Right now, force him to flee to the left and cornering him right at his cove. But he has to pump enough ships here, because as you can see, Teal has a whole lot, and again I'm going to repeat myself, Greek ships are strong. But yellow is going to double into teal, it seems. Or is he? Because right now it actually seems like red is kinda out of the water, not doing a whole lot as he is concentrating on the land, where unfortunately his early attack is stopped. You can see that Temista has already built at least one military academy, and it's kinda enough together with the heroes from blue and his own to make the attack from Chrono kinda not good enough. So, ships are moving into one position for one big fight, it seems. Temista Greco together with Chef are not really participating, just now Chef is joining in, and that results into Temista going into red's fishing ships and possibly even yellow ones. So far he's just at the spot, and yep, now he's making the move. And red definitely does not have enough ships here. to defend against all this. So that's not a good spot for him. But looking at the minimap, LNC are already making the switch into land. Velite is taking second, TC seem to be taking third as well, but just stopped because it was I'm on Fire's TC, I think, and yeah, I'm on Fire was going for it. Who is right now at second TC as well, so he will be at 3, and yeah, Velite at 3 as well. So that's pretty sweet right there. On JS's side, oh, you can see a bit of fighting here from Baby JJ, who is trying to disrupt Chef from taking second TC. He slowed it down by a little, but not really by anything all that great. Some straight Turma, just losing a one-on-one with Jason, and you can see that Count just finished his second. So at this point it kinda seems that the water is convincingly in JS's power. You can see a lot of blue, a lot of teal, a lot of green, and not enough purple here. So LNC are just now concentrating on raiding the fishing ships, it seems. Trying to make the life difficult as they can, and possibly trying to make JSS overcome it. By looking at the TC positions, one TC goes to Waterfire, and one for LNC. This could become a trouble, because LNC won't be in position to defend it, and once siege ships come in from JSS, there'll be one TC less. So I can see also Baby JJ taking second TC. And seeing how the battle is more or less done on the water at all fronts, let's have a look what's happening here between teal and purple. Purple is going through because Count wasn't able to finish his wall soon enough. So let's see if he has enough push here. He still has to take all his units from his base, so that's a long way off. And right now Count von Count has just one stables that's switching into military academy range. So if he is able to stand this attack, which he should, because he just upgraded into towers, he will be kinda fine. Right now I'm a bit curious what's happening at the other parts of the map. You can see that Baby JJ is taking his 30C as well. It's kinda forwardish, so if he succeeds in taking it, which he probably will, as this Pegasus staying there is not hovering over the TC, it will be pretty sweet. At the bottom though, you can see Temista just going here for some gathering of gold or TC, I'm not sure. Anyway, just discovered that Baby JJ is going there at the back TC, and I'm afraid it won't be good enough. Exactly, because Chef is building military buildings right next to this, so good plan from Baby JJ, but I'm afraid it won't yield expected results. Right now some really fight from Temista. And yeah, that's the end of it. At the same time though, Velite is helping red teammate. So it's kinda interesting. Bit of a double here, so that's going to be 2v2. And will they stop Temista from taking the second TC? For this moment they do, because Temista doesn't have enough, he's building armory, so he's definitely thinking about heroic right now. And well, it's a pretty decent play, but once a blue picks enough units, he should be able to help his teammate quite enough. Moving on to the right side, you can see a bit of blue blobs here as well, so that's Chef on the both sides, ready to help whenever he can. And purple is still pushing quite strongly, and Count for Count is having all kinds of trouble. And that's also probably because Count is just at 2 TCs, and his third is right now being cut off from him by a decent play from Iron Fire. Right now I just really keenly want to check who is advancing into heroic, because that's very important at this stage. And it doesn't seem like anybody from JSS is even thinking about it. So how about LNCs? Baby JJ, no. LNC Velite, not yet either. And purple is the last hope here. Also nothing, so everybody is pretty much content in classical. So these are just Pegasi here. And right now Greco Temista Greco is finally being able to return to build in his TC because his teammate Chef has finally amassed enough medium beacons to actually stop this. But will he? Haha, yellow army arrived with a bit of red, and even though green has some hoplites here, still his army is strong enough, especially because all those Prometheans right now. But they won't be really standing for that much longer because Odysseus is here, standing guard, and should be picking them off one by one. So this is at this point a pretty crucial battle. Right now there's a lot of green, but those are just willies, and right now they are just sprayed around. But those Hippicons are just strong, and their numbers are growing. And you can see that yellow just has all map to go here, and TC is finished, and I'm afraid that's the end of this attempt from Baby JJ at this point. First heroic is right now through Velite, so that's LNC advancing sooner than JSS, but their adventure at the bottom is kinda lost. So let's have a look at the right. How is Count doing against I'm on Fire? This wall is finished, but otherwise it's not really going all that well, and he will be maybe raided at these gold willies. But looking at I'm on Fire, doesn't really have anything else than Turmas right now. He better be careful about that. So this is yellow and red army retreating. Yellow finally building some military buildings right here at the doorstep of, well, it's not really a doorstep, it's middle of the map. But you can see first heroic from Apollo, and that's Temista. And also, this is pretty important from Chef, because these pigs will allow him, or anyone from JSS, to cast pretty decent and pretty sneaky underworld passage at the back of their bases. But it's not like Temista doesn't have the same capability through those Pegasi. Count for Count is trying to secure his front TC, recognizing that I'm on Fire is not really having a good composition against him, just all those Turmas, and he's definitely winning. And since his I'm on Fire is not really building all that much military units, yeah, heroic is going 50% into Thea. There it is. So Count for Count better take this TC soon, before the Dryads come in and the upgraded units from I'm on Fire. I'm on Fire was trying to build a forward base, but yeah, kinda has to retreat, as this is not really in his power anymore. It is definitely in power of Count for Count. And Velite just went into fast Mythic. Well, and he is having a pretty decent army. At the left, some Turmas from red, and yep, here goes the Tartarian Gate. And that's a pretty sweet spot. Although at the same time, you have to say that he has military buildings, so that's it. The underworld passage from Temista was used at the back TC of Baby JJ. It's been already leveled, and it will be pretty much soon taken for him, and it seems like Temista Greco is interested in repeating the Vinland Saga and picking TCs where they are. That's pretty sweet, and this Destruction Derby is moving on through Baby JJ's base, and very decently at that. Even though Baby JJ is doing a pretty good job building extra towers, so that these green guys die as soon as possible, it still won't prevent those guys from destroying the DC. So that's Temista trying to finish the game early, not waiting for his Colossi and such, and at the same time yellow is, well, being repelled right now. Because he's just alone here, and as you can see blue is having pretty strong units. And a bit of green in the mix, and that's it. Count for Count, another Apollo. In the meantime, Velite is into Titan, and Count is at 3 TCs, so that he's recaptured his forward. Right now he's taking the battle to the purple. Purple is trying to build a ballast here at the water. So he will be trying to make some use of this choke point for defensive purposes. And what's happening here? Oh well, that's a pretty good response from Baby JJ by using this behemoth, who is pretty strong against buildings, but yeah, it won't be before the whole of army here is back. But Themista is not repairing it, so goodbye Underworld Passage. That was kinda weird from Themista that he did not send any villies to actually repair it. Maybe he thinks that once Chef is right now through a Mythic, it won't really be needed. He will just storm through his side of the map. You can see that he's definitely thinking about it. Temple and Temple here from blue. But still there's a lot of army of Hippicons that are going to wreck LNC's economy. And they are very good at that. Together with those Manticores. Pretty decent raiding. So these guys are left here pretty much to die, and Themista is right now killing even farms, not which is pretty sweet play, and play you don't see very often. It's still 75 wood. You can see Baby JJ's response to here. Actually transporting a farm. That's, I think, the first time I ever see this. And, well, yeah, we've seen that now. And those remaining hoplites here, they will just concentrate on probably keeping Baby JJ off the TC right now. Another underworld passage. And where is it going here? Near the water, and that will probably go for this Titan Gate. And since it's not being built very fast, these colossi should get there, together with Myrmidons. Another Mythic from I'm on Fire. So how's it looking here? 2 LNCs and just 1 JSS. And right now Valida is trying to build some extra watchtowers to protect his Titan Gate. He might just succeed, because so far this push is not enough, and very clever use of Tartarian Gate to destroy Underworld Passage. That's very clever. Even though he maybe could have done it at the other side of the map, still he opted for the quick option, deleted the Underworld Passage, and just then deleted the Tartarian Gate so that it doesn't do any problems. Which means that 2 Underworlds are gone for JSS and they are left with just 1. So will they go for the next one? Right now Count for Count is into Mythic and he's having a pretty decent success against his opponent Purple. Seems like he will be pushing through, especially once he joins Myrmidons. And at the bottom, Baby JJ is still trying to do something in the middle with transporting his red buildings right into the middle of JSS bases. But Themista is well aware, and hoplites are trying to make a fast deal, quick deal of those buildings. They're not really facing any trouble here, so it should be pretty decently done. And well, on the left, Themista is 3 TCs and finally trying to go into offensive on his side as well with the help of his teammate Chef. Just destroying this Oranos' gate just as well, but not before Yellow is able to return back. And well, TC is up, it seems. Our TC Titan will be up. It's not like JSS are really trying to make another Underworld Passage into it. And second Titan from I'm on Fire seems to be copying up as well. Okay, there's a bit of purple here. Okay, so that's this from Turmas raiding. And Themista went for Hera. So he believes that 2 Colossi are enough to Hephaestus. And well, he might just as well be right. And he definitely loves the Hera. That's old school right there. And enjoy the god power, you probably don't see too often. Yep, Hera was the god of choice in the past, around, I don't know, 2004-05. It was the god to play in the AOM, and Themista is the one who definitely likes it and likes this Medusae. So he will probably kill this Colossi. Oh no, he just went for the Lampade. Well, just as well. That was making all kinds of trouble, making units enemy and such. You can see that the advance is here is very strong, as Baby JJ is having all kinds of trouble with everything here. This TC was just destroyed from the water. Yeah, that's what I mentioned, like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes earlier, that it's going to be a trouble for LNC. And it really is. And what's this trading going on here? Oh, they are just going for these poor guys. They are being pursued by two champions of Blitz, which could actually be enough to at least kill some of those. Yeah. But it doesn't really seem like Count is actually aware of these guys, so they could do some decent damage. At the same time though, he doesn't really need to worry about that, because he is eaten into purple very nicely. Alepoli joining the fray, Menipidons in the mix, and upgrades come in there. So he can only hope, purple, that his Titan will actually help him right now. Where is going the yellow Titan? It's kinda hard to see. Yeah, he is here at the middle of the map, trying to help his side at the left, where he is fighting together with Baby JJ against Temista and Chef. And yep, his primary purpose is to take down buildings, and he will succeed in that without any doubt. First bolt coming into Titan. Do they have two left? Yeah, they have all their bolts left. That's actually going to help quite a lot, because that's 1500 hit points gone right there, which is kind of substantial. So that's second and third. So yep, suddenly Titan at the half health. So it will be all that easier to deal with. You can see that at the back here, Temista Greco is going for some Radiant. That was probably a market, if I remember correctly. So these guys can move forward, possibly to this TC. They should be strong enough with upgrades. Yep, decent. He doesn't have the cheap ones for Hephaestus, so he has to pay for them. But still, Destruction Derby it is. Another market being built by Baby JJ. That's just going to be destroyed before it even pops up. Or it will pop up, but will be killed as soon as this TC is down. So Titan is here, being pummeled by the Greek heroes, who are doing pretty substantial damage together with the Helepoli. But yeah, the TC will be down. But at this point, I don't really think Green needs to worry about it all that much. How's it looking with the Titan on the other side? Well, he's trying to kill fortresses here that are producing the Helepoli. There are all kinds of troubles for purple. And right now it seems like the Titan is all it took for Armor Fire to stem the tide of the Teal army. And well, depending on how well he actually uses the Titan, if he's able to destroy all those buildings, well, I was kinda hoping that he could, but looking at the sheer numbers, he probably won't be able to do so. And surely, slowly but surely, he will be killed and brought down. But purple is definitely making use of it. And how is it with his upgrades? Decent ones, and heal. Yeah, he's at full, so pretty good. Verite just now saying that he's not making any progress, and yeah, he is not. Those forward buildings are just going to be destroyed. The Titan has already died, as you can see, and well, this TC is just about to be stolen by... Well, so far it's in blue's power, but this battalion of red archers is just killing those willies like in a slaughterhouse. That's pretty very bad, but right now that is not paying enough attention that he would micro all his archers into these willies. But yep, right now they are all dead, which means that blue will have to send another ones to actually capture the TC right now. Chef is the first from JSS who is going for a Titan. And he doesn't need to worry about anything. Baby JJ is the only one who is not in Mythic, and LNC don't have literally anything that could do anything about that on the other side of the map. Green Helepoli coming into the attack here. Is Baby JJ maybe at least advancing? Yep, he's at the advancing 10% into Helios. So Helios is, I think, the Vortex. So possibly then they could have a chance of taking down the Titan Gate, but it's not really assured. This Titan from purple is still at half health and is helping his owner quite decently. He's already destroyed like 3 fortresses. This bird, again, these birds are pretty useful here. And Dryads as well, and all he uses here are pretty much Arguses. Well, why not? Because count for count, all he is using are those infantry, and those Toxels are just some remainders from one archery range, I think. Yeah, 2 archery ranges against all those extra buildings there. Count for count is doing the smart thing, towering his TC so that it's harder for the Titan to get there, and if he does, he will get all that much more damage. The Celepola are pretty sweet against Titan. You can see that the hit points are just going down so fast. So this is pretty much all that it will take, and these walls will stop the Titan, and he will be dead very soon. Switching to the left side, we can see that yellow is full on with red here. But the TC has been secured by Chef, which means that LNC are 1 TC less, actually 2 because of this from the water. And even though Count has, or rather Chef has extra pop on the water right now with the new TC, he doesn't need to worry about that. Velite is the only one with some semblance of an army here. Baby JJ has something, but it's not really all that great amount. And yeah, the sheer power of the Greek units is just being known here. It's actually Temista. I'm not exactly sure what he's right now doing, as he's not anywhere. There's a market, and here he is. This is what he is doing, Temista. Just got there at the nick of time before Amorphire destroyed the transport ship, and well, that's kind of funny. Bellerophon together with 9 Helepoli. That's a variant on the Gontarios is raiding on the TCs that you could have seen in some previous attempts from, it was AOL, I think, or rather Lats. No, it was Lats. Well, that's a neat surprise, and you can see that JSS still have 100 world passage for some extra fun. And this is pretty sweet play, because he will destroy a whole lot of manners, and this means that Amonfare will be terribly housed right now. So his Titan is gone, and this should allow a gun for count to steal through his side very easily. You can see that he has a lot of Helepoli himself, pretty sweet units at his disposal, and building spam is cropping up in his wake. And well, where are the Helepoli now? And another TC. Yeah, just let it now see what the hell is going on, and let's have a look at the bottom where the vortex was used, or it wasn't probably vortex, it was just buildings transported by Baby JJ. Just now is the vortex, and probably the last fight of the game, because Amorphana and Velite already resigned, and this is the play for Baby JJ's redemption. If he can at least take down this Titan Gate, but the last underworld passage is used by Count to return some army here, and Baby JJ recognizes that he doesn't have enough push here and it wouldn't go down in time, and GG. But that last play from Temista was pretty funny. He just saw that Chef is owning the left side against 2 guys. Count for Count is having a pretty good game on his right side, so he just decided to do the fun stuff. Good play, GG, and JSS advance into the Grand Finals 3-0 again over LNC, and they will face Deities of Death in a pretty exciting match. So let's have a look at the post game. Chef was the pocket, so that's expected he would be the best. The most gold, straight gold, pretty sweet. Pretty close with Count for Count. They were doing a whole lot of heavy lifting in the economical department. Temista having the sweetest military count by a ton, by actually 100 above the other guys. That's kind of noticeable. And as for improvements, well, Velites was missing some. All LNCs were kind of missing upgrades here. Well, that's what you expect when you lose water. That's usually what happens because the water just gives you an extra push to the economy. 15 gold colossi, pretty sweet. 114 in Arcusis, so kind of interesting, and 62 in Fanatics. Funny. And even though Chef was pumping a whole lot of Hippicons, his most successful units are Champion Toxots. Well, and here you can see that, yeah, that's kind of normal. Looking how these Willies take just 3 pop, or rather more pop than just 1. And military, that was kind of even. Just oscillating around the middle. And all resources, you can see Temista just running away into 11,000 idle resources at the end. That's an absolutely ridiculous amount. How much food was it? 4,000 food. 4,000 food, 2,000 wood, and how about gold? Yeah, 5,000 gold almost. He had so much at the end, thanks to his special fun strat at the end. Alright, GG.